So much we've been talking about here on the MegaCast over the past year. It has been an extremely tough time for teachers to try to teach throughout the pandemic. And, we do know too, there's a teacher shortage. So many teachers right now are leaving the profession, but one local person is embracing education right now. Let's bring in Sarah Bussineau. She is the winner for the Michigan Association of Teacher Educators Student Teacher of the Year Award. That's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you very much.
So why did you want to be a teacher?
Oh, geez. There are so many reasons. Growing up, I always just loved school. And I guess that's the first thing, is that growing up, I had a lot of great role models who were teachers who really inspired me. So the teachers that I had, and my dad's also a teacher, so that kind of helped. I saw people in the profession. And then just really the opportunity to help students grow. There's a moment when you teach, when a student finally gets something, when it clicks. That's just amazing. So that's really what inspired me to be a teacher.
So with that, Sarah, can I ask, what do you teach currently?
I'm currently teaching K through 8 music and band at St. Regis Catholic School in Bloomfield Hills.
What has the past year been like for you?
It has been really crazy. So I started out in the fall student teaching virtually at a high school band program, which was very interesting, having to adapt to teaching online. And then just the switching during the pandemic of sometimes teaching in person and sometimes online has required a lot of adaptability and flexibility.
Especially when we're talking about band, because it's about the instrument and the music and the sounds that it makes. And we know everyone doesn't have the same technology. So I'm sure that it sounds a lot different through a computer screen.
And it's so difficult with band too, because band is really about the community, right? It's about the sounds that you make when you're playing with other people. So having to teach band when students are at home by themselves has been an additional challenge, because you kind of lose a little bit of that community aspect, but we've been making it work.
But I'm also thinking starting as a student teacher virtually, because you're not getting, those moments of introducing yourself and, those words of wisdom. What's it been like?
Yeah, it was really difficult at first, because you're right. A lot of things were different from what I expected. I started student teaching online in my basement. Like the first day I was like, this is very odd. I'm not in a school building. But finding ways to kind of build those moments in online was really the challenge of the year, whether it's like using a new website that the kids like, whether it's incorporating more like popular culture into the lessons so that you can connect with the students more. So it's been tough because we're losing those traditional aspects, but it's also an opportunity to bring in these new lesson ideas, which has been a nice challenge.
But with that too, I'm sure they appreciate having someone such as yourself, because we do know that some of us that are a bit older than you, we struggle more with technology than your generation.
Yeah, my mentor teacher was great, was very adept at using technology. So the kids are lucky to have him as a teacher too, but it's nice. I think because I'm a little younger, sometimes I can catch some of their references to different internet things. So that's always helpful.
So with that, we're speaking with Sarah Bussineau. She is the winner for the Michigan Association of Teacher Educators Student Teacher of the Year. So you are actually teaching full-time now though?
Yes, yeah.
With that, what advice would you give to other people considering going into teaching, especially as someone who is new, starting out in the middle of the pandemic?
I would say just take every opportunity to learn as much as you can. Post-pandemic, when we can get back into classrooms, observe as many mentor teachers as you can. Ask to be a part of as many classroom situations as you can, because really, you can learn a lot through college and through your own education, but seeing the classroom activities daily and how it works is really where you're going to learn the most.
So tell us more about the award.
Yeah, so it was given by the Michigan Association for Teacher Educators. So basically the people in Michigan who teach the teachers. And it was given for a student teacher who showed exemplary practice during student teaching and innovation. So yeah, so that was that. I was one of 2 winners in Michigan.
That is so awesome. What an accomplishment, because we do know too, it's a little bit more difficult. Put the pandemic aside, to teach today, because so many kids are distracted. They have other things going on, social media. So you really have to find those ways to get their attention, but also get them engaged while teaching them at the same time.
That's absolutely correct. And that's something that I've really learned too in my lessons, is that you really do need to keep it fast paced to hold everyone's attention. That's, yeah, definitely right.
So what was the first day of student teaching like for you? Standing in front of the classroom can be a little intimidating, I would think.
The first day of student teaching, it was pretty nerve-wracking. It was kind of weird again because we were virtual. It was in my basement, so I was all dressed up professionally with my fuzzy slippers on, sitting at my kitchen table. But let me think back. I just remember being nervous, but also very excited because I had met the students over the summer at their marching band activities, so I had already known some of them. So getting to see them in a different setting in the classroom, I was really excited to see what they had to bring to the table.
So you said that your father's an educator as well.
Yeah.
So you understand the industry, but what are your thoughts right now, knowing that so many teachers are leaving the industry right now?
Oh, yeah, it's a difficult time, especially starting out to be a teacher. I know that when I told some of my mentors that I wanted to be a teacher, people told me it's not a good time. You should look into something else. So I just really think that whatever you can do in your own way to support teachers, whether that's being involved in your child's education, if you're a parent, or supporting school districts. I don't know if people are in a place to do that financially, if they can. Just really showing teachers that you support them is a nice thing to do, no matter what time of climate we're in, really.
So I'm trying to think too, like if you're teaching band, these kids are at home and, parents in one room trying to work, and then you have maybe brothers and sisters in another, and then they break out the instruments.
Yeah, and that was a place where we really had to be flexible during our lessons and offer extra time if students had to come play, because you're right. Some students were at home, their parents were working from home on Zoom calls. They had babies, siblings sleeping in the next room. They couldn't play during class. So we really had to be flexible and offer them extra time to come in and be able to complete their assignments. Yeah, for sure.
So as we go into the summer, but go into the fall, do you anticipate you'll be fully back into the classroom?
Yes. So at my school right now, we are fully back into the classroom with COVID precautions. So I'm very excited about that. And I hope that can continue with the way things are going in Michigan.
So we're speaking with Sarah Bussineau. She's the winner for the Michigan Association of Teacher Educators Student Teacher of the Year Awards. And what does your dad teach, by the way?
He teaches social studies at the high school level in Romeo.
So with that, too, when it comes to maybe some of your friends looking at going into teaching, because we do know that right now, substitute teaching is really a big area that they need so many people. You don't have to have a teaching degree to be a substitute teacher. Are some of your friends maybe looking at this profession because of what you've been able to do?
Yeah, I say that my friends are very supportive of one another. So whenever like one of us does something like this, we take it as a point of inspiration. So I think it's been encouraging for people at Oakland and in my friend group to see me do well, because when they do well, we're all supportive, if that makes sense.
With that, Sarah, what did winning this award mean to you?
It was really an honor. And I was so glad that the Michigan ATE continued to give the award out this year, just because of COVID and everything that has happened. Because I know I had to be so adaptable and flexible during my student teaching time. So it was just a great honor to have that be recognized through this award.
And with that, Sarah, when you have to do student teaching, how does that work? Do you have to have so many hours of student teaching, and do you teach under another professor or teacher?
Yeah, so it works a little differently depending on which university. At Oakland, we start with occasional student teaching. We call them field placements, 2 years into our degree. And we rotate through a few different mentor teachers until we find one who we really connect with. So I had a couple middle school field placements in elementary, and then I ended up at Bussineau High School with Jason Rose. And I said, I think I would like to student teach here. And then that's when my full-time student teaching starts. So 5 days a week, you're there whenever the mentor teacher is there, learning as much as you can.
That's really a big commitment.
Yeah, yeah.
So with that, you're teaching music and band. You didn't mention the marching band. What's that like in COVID?
It's very interesting in COVID, as with many things. So marching band during COVID means we keep people as spaced out as we can. So that means our shows take up a little more space on the field than usual, just because we have more space. But marching band is fortunate because it is outside. So that's nice because COVID precautions are more relaxed. We know when people are outside. And it really looks different for each school district, but at Bussineau, where I was, students were wearing masks when they weren't playing, making sure to be socially distanced. And it was a nice way because it was one of the activities during the summer that felt almost normal in the band world, because we were outside and able to have practices and such. So it was a nice kind of normal thing for the students.
And it is good that you were able to practice in person, because I know that we've spoken recently with some people in the theater industry and trying to have to learn like dance moves or, moves via the internet and Zoom when the camera's reversed.
Oh, goodness. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So being able to practice in person, definitely a blessing in that regard. Sarah Bussineau with us here on the MegaCast. She's the winner of the Michigan Association of Educators. She won the Student Teacher of the Year Award, but you are also now a teacher. Anything else maybe that we didn't ask you that you want to add before we say goodbye?
Just a thank you to everyone who has supported me along the way, especially everyone in the music department at Oakland University. They were the faculty and students that are really so supportive. And then to my parents as well, who are always an inspiration.
That's awesome. And Sarah, what instrument do you play?
I play the clarinet.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We so appreciate it. And again, congratulations on the award and best of luck on your career as well.
Thank you so much.